Some people walk into a room and instantly they know how to make a connection. They're remembered, they're trusted, they're naturally influential. But charisma isn't something that you're born with. It's actually a skill that can be understood, developed, and refined. For many leaders, especially for women leaders, the challenge isn't capability, it's visibility. You may have the expertise, the experience, the results, but struggle to translate that into presence, influence, and the confidence to fully own your own voice. Today, we're going to explore the hidden architecture behind magnetic leadership with Demet Tuncer. She's the creator of the Celebrity Charisma Code, a framework designed to help people understand, diagnose, and elevate their charisma. From her experience as a featured performer at the very first TEDx event in Turkey to her work helping leaders strengthen their presence, Demet reveals why charisma is not about performing, it's about becoming more authentically powerful. Demet, welcome to the show.
Hello,
So excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I have been waiting anxiously because I want to hear all about the Charisma Code. And I can already tell you have just exudant amounts of charisma. Yes, so we're thrilled to have you. So I know there's going to be like 100 questions that people want to ask you, but we're going to keep it to what you and I want to talk about today.
They can always reach out. It's all right. We only have, 30 minutes? Come on.
Yeah, we have 30 minutes. And so we'll do our best. And audience, don't worry. We'll make sure you know how to connect with Demet at the end of this conversation so you can have all of your questions answered.
Yes.
So let's start with the question that everybody wants to know. Is charisma something you're born with, or can we truly develop that?
I believe we're both. We're born with charisma. Here, going back to what charisma is, actually, when you look at it, it comes from the word charisma in Greek, and it means gift of God. It's a gift, it's a divine gift. So it is actually within us when we're born, but we're taught out of it. The social norms, the conditioning, the gender norms, the fear of judgment, corporate culture, everything's like, don't wear that. You're a woman. You're a mother. Don't say that. Stop raising your hand. Don't laugh so loud. Are you going to wear that? All these things, what happens is we tuck away our inner magnet, I call it, our charisma. And then we come to a point where we convince ourselves that we were never born with it. So that's why I don't say I help people acquire charisma. No, I help people activate the charisma they're born with.
Love it.
So the Celebrity Charisma Code actually gives them the key to unlock that and use it as a skill. Because what happens is it's a skill, and like any other skill, you need to practice it, you need to develop it, refine it, and master it. And especially with presence, with charisma, with body language, with vocal mastery, you need to practice. It's not something I'll just watch a training, darling, and then everything will be fine.
We wish, but no, it doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't happen overnight. So you have to give yourselves grace.
Yeah, love that. Love that.
Yeah.
And so what are some of those misconceptions that people believe about charismatic people? Like when you were describing, I was thinking of a number of people that come to my mind that I go, oh yeah, that person has so much charisma. And I was even describing somebody the other day and they said, oh, what do you like so much about that person, Vicki? And I said, he's just so charismatic. Like he walks in the room and like everybody's looking at him because he's just got that presence.
Absolutely. A few things. It's very interesting because a few people I've introduced charisma to, and it's like, I thought charisma was such a male thing. Like men have charisma, or it's like a macho. So they correlate that with loud and then like taking up space. It's not that. Charisma has nothing to do with loudness. And I tell them, I said, if you think a person is charismatic because they're loud, no, they're probably annoying more than charismatic. So when you look at charismatic people, when you think about charismatic people, what comes to mind? You say, I don't know what it is, but I'm just drawn to them. I just want to be around them. they have that magnetic field up, the magnetic field, not the shield, and
Yeah.
literally draw people to you. And that's why I emphasize you need to activate charisma, so you stop chasing opportunities and you start attracting them. And I keep saying that charisma is not a nice to have. It's a leadership strategy. It's your competitive edge. Activate it, activate it. So when you think of those people who are charismatic, you will see that it's not about them at all. It's not a self-centered, egotistic thing. On the contrary, it's always about the other person. How other people feel through you, because of you, because of your presence. So it's so beautiful and nuanced that you have to activate the charisma you have. You have to know everyone's charisma is going to be different because we're all different. So you have to know what you have in order to give.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Well, when you were saying that, one thing that where my brain went to was, what is your energetic vibration, right? Do you attract or do you repel? And
Yes.
even noticing, like, I know sometimes I'm working with, female executives, and it's like, when you walk in the room, what do you notice? Are people staying away, or are people, they're coming to you? And that person I was just describing, that's that's what I observe with them. It's like they just have this ability to draw people. They don't even say anything. They're just drawing people to them because of the presence and the vibration they have.
Here's a little thing I will add to that, because I hear this a lot. Vibration, presence, energy. Come on. I mean, especially if they're like tech on the left side. So I say to them, so think about, go back to those times where you were sitting with your friend in the dark and you're saying nothing, just being present, no words. And think about how powerful that is, or that was. Just staying in silence with a person next to you without saying a word. They say if you're comfortable doing that with someone, then that means they're your person. And so I challenge them. I said, well, if you're comfortable and if that feels powerful, then show me what happened. You can't. You feel it. And that's the energy. So I think the more we try to put things in logic, and when we move away from the energy, that's when people start to lose the room. Because especially the executives I work with, they are great. They obsess over their words.
Yes.
Okay, I have a keynote coming up. I have a presentation coming up. They obsess over those words. If you're one of those people, listeners and viewers, I'll tell you this. They obsess over those words because they can control the words. So there's a difference between control and confidence. Control is very rigid. It's like, all right, I've got it down, Vicki. This will just go as planned. I have the beautiful slides because I hired a person or a agency. All right, I got that checked. The audience is in control. It's fine. But confidence, it says, if something goes wrong, it's fine. I'll handle it. It's flexible. Confidence is rigid. And I mean, control is rigid, but confidence is flexible. And that's what we want. That's what we see in the magnetic leaders. They're like, all right. And that's authenticity. That's vulnerability. Something goes wrong, we'll fix it together.
Yeah, and it's also
Fine.
that self-trust. They trust themselves that, whatever happens here, it's what's meant to happen, and I will adapt and flow with it.
Absolutely. And I see more and more the people who don't, and who want to say, okay, what do I do now? Where do I put my hands now? Do I do this, or do I do this, or do I cross my... So that's why charisma, that presence, is unique to you. And when I work with people, I say, all right, let's find what your pose is. Let's find what your body does. Your body will always tell you what to do. So don't mimic other people. That's another thing. This is wonderful. Vicki, I'm sure you get this too. I see and I hear a lot of female executives come to me and say, well, they want me to stand out and take up space, or, show more presence, but they don't tell me how to do it.
Mm.
That's exactly it. They tell women how to own the room, show up and stand out, but they never tell them how to do it. So what they do is they mimic the other
I see.
executives. That's
Yeah.
okay. So I guess that's what they want me to do. And they come in the room the following day. I was like, all right, so I'm speaking, please. Thank you. Thank you. Well, no, we'll get to that later. And all of a sudden, she changes because that's not her, that she's mimicking somebody else. And everybody thinks, what happened to her?
Yeah. Is she okay? Is she
She okay?
stressed? She's one of the boys now. What's happened?
Exactly. Is that time of the month? Or is
Yeah.
that, or nowadays, is she in menopause or
Yeah.
perimenopause?
Great point.
Exactly.
Hormonal. We'll just say hormonal.
Hormonal. There you go. I love that. Hormonal. Yes. Yes. So you have to find your own charisma way of working your body.
Yeah. So true. So true. That I think that right there says everything about what we're talking about today, and really tuning into who you are and trusting yourself
Yes.
that, I have built the skills, the capabilities to be here to talk about this. And it's having that energetic profile, that energetic vibration, that charisma, as you call it, like to really be fully you and
Yes.
represent yourself wholly with the audience that you're talking to, whoever that is, one person or 100 people, it doesn't matter. It's just being fully in your essence.
I don't see why you shouldn't do that. That's the thing. When I work with, especially with corporate female clients, I hear this a lot. I feel like I am somebody else at work. I'm somebody else at home. I'm somebody else when I'm with my friends. I say, girl, that's a lot of people to handle. And they say, well, that's a lot. Yeah, I'm burnt out. Of course, because you're trying to juggle too many presences. You're literally taking yourself apart piece by piece for each condition, each situation. And so I said, no, it's not about balancing work and life and friends. It's about integrating it. It's about bringing yourself, calling yourself, like you call your power from all timelines, all situations, and bringing it to you and actually saying, okay, you know what? This is me. And being authentic is not, this is me, that's it, take it or leave it, but this is me and I will adapt to the situations, but it will still be me to the core. So you don't have to worry about being a different person or bringing out your different personalities to the situations. So that's very important. And if there are people who are doing that right now, please, we're talking to you.
Yes.
You want to
Loudly,
do that
loudly.
loudly and clearly, hopefully.
Well, and I love that, Demet, because, I when you were just describing that, you took me back, when I was in my
Pure.
30s and I'm running this company. And like 2 years ago, I started doing my doctorate and I was writing about that. And I wrote exactly that I would walk into that room and I would have my suit of armor on because I felt like, I had to be this person. And I took on all these masculine attributes when the reality of it was I just needed to be me. And it took me a while to figure out being me really built trust with my teams, with our vendors, with our customers. And so, again, to those listening, being you is the most important person in that room and will help you stay in alignment with who you are projecting into the world.
Everyone else is taken. Be
Yeah.
you. Remember that? Absolutely love that. And that actually brings us to vulnerability because especially if you're an executive, if you're in the corporate space, you have to be controlling, you have to be powerful, you have to be strong. Put up a mask, put up your armor and get in there. Come on, girl, get in there. But what happens is you start to lose a little bit of yourself.
Yes.
And one day at a time, one meeting, it really is the worst thing you can do for yourself. And you're taking the hardest path where there's an easier way, the authentic way. And what happens is you move away from the vulnerability bank that I have. And we say, well, no, no, no. Vulnerability is weakness. I shall never show my weak part, never be vulnerable. Well, then you don't connect to your team. Like you said you were connecting with your team more, you were becoming yourself more because you were allowing yourself to flow. And you said, oh, you know what, I'll allow people to see me. And I'm thinking, We are here. We came to this world to show our colors, our beliefs. And if we try to wear black and just use black paint or just white, then everyone is the same color. What are the colors in between? What is your color? And if you don't show this, then people are missing out. And you have no right to do that to people.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's so powerful. Like, honestly, if each of us just took that moment to commit to being authentically ourselves, and to your point, it's not about just going in and doing whatever, but really tapping into the essence of who you are and how do you want to be remembered in the world? Like, do you want to be remembered as the hard ass, or the person who came in and had 10 masks and I didn't know from day to day which boss was going to show up? Like, that's very unsettling.
Absolutely. And you know what? The other thing is that they struggle with is then the performance side.
Yes.
Because when you walk in with a mask or with a shield, then you have to play that role. That means you're playing a role. You're performing, taking you back to your performing versus becoming. So, and the audience knows. The audience always knows and feels and sees through it. I mean, look back at those plays that you went to or the movies that you were watching and you went, well, that's not, I don't believe this. So, and this is a great point because actually neuroscientifically, it's proven that we have these detectors in ourselves to detect incongruence. What does that mean? When somebody is saying something but they're doing something else. So their body is doing something else and they're saying, I love you. I just love you. So what do we believe? We believe the body, right? You go, and they say, well, what was that? What are you trying to tell me? Do you love me or do
Don't think
you
I believe that you love me.
Exactly. So they believe the body. So the nonverbal is so important. What does your body do? And it always starts with awareness. What does your body do? How do you communicate? What does your voice do? What does your face do when you get angry, when you get frustrated or anxious? What do you do and what do people see? And if you don't decode that, then you cannot read other people.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
So I'm actually pulling all from the celebrity charisma code, the 5 banks and the master key, little by little.
Well, I was going to say, let's segue into that, because I think that, it's important to understand what inspired that framework and what did you discover about it that truly helps someone be magnetic and just fully show up as themselves.
Boy, how did I? Vicki, I have an interesting story. I was an award-winning actress for 30 years, captivating millions on screens, global stages. I mean, Davos World Economic Forum to FIFA to FIBA, presidential events, you name it. We had to move to the US in 2016 because of my husband's job transfer. So we did. And so my thriving career just disappears. Like, okay, so who am I now?
Mm-hmm.
What am I good for now? And this I hear a lot in the people who are transitioning from corporate to a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what am I good for now? What do I do? Who do I manage now? If I don't manage, or if I don't do what I used to do, then, well, that was your title. When you are stripped away from your titles, that's when the fun begins. It's a bit bittersweet, but it does. And I love this quote by one of my favorite poets, Persian favorite poets, Shams Tabrizi. He says, "Don't fear your life turning upside down. How do you know if your down is not better than your up?"
Oh, I love that. Wow. Just
Goosebumps.
repeat that one more time. Yes, because that's a very powerful message.
Very powerful message. And that's what when I saw this, I said, okay, universe, I got it. All right, I hear you. Shem says, don't fear your life turning upside down. How do you know if your down is not better than your up? Because when you look at it, Vicki, that's exactly what happened to me. I thought my life was turned upside down. I mean, I was voice of Walt Disney, working with high profiled events and movies and sitcoms. And I'm in Portland, Oregon now. I love it, but I mean, it's not very ideal.
Not the same.
No, not the same. So I said, okay, my life has turned upside down. But what I've seen is that, remember, all the world's treasures are buried beneath the earth. All the civilizations, all the treasures. Oh my God, we found gold. Oh my God, we found the civilization. So we have to excavate to find the treasure. Just like ourselves, we have to excavate to find our ingredients. When I found my ingredients, the story did not start there. I was asked to do a keynote. I know. I was like, okay, I have the ingredients. So what do I do now? I started a YouTube channel, which is wonderful. Now I have 250,000 followers, which is
Amazing.
amazing. That's wonderful. But still, that was my lane. What was I good for, right? So I was asked to do a keynote for this women's conference, and I said, all right, I don't know if I have anything common to share, but yes, I'll do it. And after the keynote, they came up to me as if they sat down and say, huddle up, we're going to ask her this question. They came up to me and said, what the hell did you do up there? You have to teach us what you got. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're the queen of charisma. You have to teach us what you have. So I literally sat down and said, so they saw charisma. They saw the power of charismatic communication, the presence. How do you teach that? Is it even teachable? So I sat down and I reverse engineered my 30 years of work, and I came up with this celebrity charisma code. I decoded it and I said, all right, these are the things you need to activate the charisma you're born with. And if you follow this map, this is brilliant for my left brainers as well, the technicals. If you follow this, then this is going to activate your charisma, but you'll need one key. We'll go over the charisma code. And this is what happened. And then once I announced, I got this, I have the formula for you, everything started to happen. Adjunct faculty, MBA, teaching MBA, teaching Pfizer, invitation to teach NATO deep tech. Everything happened. And looping back to charisma being magnetic, that you stop chasing opportunities and you start attracting them. It is like a golden ball inside you. And once you activate it, it just grows and grows and it emulates, and people literally see your light. That's why they come to you in networking events. That's why they want to talk to you. And that's why things just started coming. And that's why I had to create a business for it. I launched the company because they needed to send the contract over to somewhere. So
Love it.
So going back to the celebrity charisma code, it's like, all right, fine, you talk too much about this, but what is it, woman? Tell us. If that's what you're thinking, viewers and listeners, here it is. So the celebrity charisma code is actually based on 5 banks and a master key. So what are those 5 banks? I believe you need to have these banks, and these banks are interconnected. So when I'm telling you these banks, I want you to actually create that vision in your mind's eye, because you have to pull and fill and take from those banks as needed. The first one is the knowledge bank. You have to know your audience before you speak to them. Are they technical people? Are they marketing people? Are they left brainers? Are they right brainers? Do they want motivation speaking? Do they want more data? What do they want? Who are they? You have to know your audience in order for you to connect with them. So that's the knowledge bank. The second one is the character bank. That is the one that we talked about. Your presence walks in the room before you can even open your mouth and say, oh my God. It used to be 3 minutes for people to form an impression, an opinion about you. Now it's down to 7 seconds.
Just
And
crazy.
now actually it's getting worse to 3 seconds. I mean, come on. What can you say in 3 seconds that people will want to get? Oh, yes, take my money. Shut up, take my money. Please coach me. No. So your presence need to walk. And what does that mean? You have to know the vocal mastery. You have to know your nonverbal communication. Again, going back to the awareness, you have to know how you communicate so you can decode, you can see the patterns and the tells and see how people communicate. So that's the character bank. Third one is one of my favorites. It's the story bank. And it's actually collecting stories. And how do you collect stories? By actively listening to people, collecting stories and creating and knowing your framework, how to create your compelling story. So actually you become a compelling storyteller. And when the time is right, when the audience is right, and when you see that their body says, I'm checking out, you need something else, you pull from your story bank and you use it.
Yeah, shift that energy.
Absolutely. Because facts inform, stories transform. So that's 3, that's the story bank. And then 4th, we have the humor bank. And when people hear humor, they go, oh, I'm not funny. And I said, no, I'm not asking you to be funny. You don't have to be a stand-up comedian. You have to use humor, though. Are you using dry humor? Are you using satire? Are you making fun of yourself all the time or the situation? There are so many styles of humor. You have to use humor because humor breaks down walls easier than logic does.
Yeah.
So you got to use it. And the 4th is the vulnerability bank. Yep. The vulnerability bank is your human side. People do not want to work with a robot. They want to work with a human, especially as you go up higher in the ladder and you try to move away from vulnerability. That's when you start to disconnect from your teams. And that's when people start to say, all right, let's get you into trainings, more training, more certification. Competence is not the problem, ladies and gents. Well, ladies, it's the presence, your presence. You have to work on it, and you have to work on connecting to yourself first, which this bank, which the charisma code does, and then you can connect to your people. So we have the knowledge bank, we have the character bank, we have the story bank, we have the humor bank, and we have the vulnerability bank. And if we have those 5 banks, even if we have them filled to the rim, do you have charisma? Yes, maybe. Yes, you do. But unless you have that master key, the master key unlocks every bank. And that when it unlocks, it goes, like charisma just like starts to activate. Think of that golden light. It goes, right? Because that's the key, is the courage to speak out, to open your mouth and actually say what you need to say, what you've been actually banking, depositing, banking, taking in, taking out. So the master key is so important. A lot of the people, especially I see this with women and tech, because they say, well, I'm an introvert. I don't have charisma. Wrong. You have the quiet charisma.
Yeah, so you're just taking all of it in.
Exactly. And you don't have charisma does not mean you need to be loud.
Yes.
And so what I say is that you have to use the courage. Well, they say, well, I don't have confidence. Yes, you can't manifest confidence, unfortunately. Confidence comes by practice, by doing it over and over again. When I first went to my class as an adjunct faculty, I go in and I say, class, I always wanted to do that because I never had anyone doing that. So I'm like, class, in this class, I want you to fail over and over. So I go, what? Yes, I want you to fail because this is your rehearsal space. So I want you to fail, get back up. Let's see what you've done wrong. What can we fix and do it again, but fail better at something else.
Love it.
So failing is never about success or anything. It's a learning path. And once you actually let that sink in, your whole life changes because life becomes a laboratory.
It's so true. It's so true. If you can, which I'm hoping that our audience listening today is taking stock of everything you're sharing, because it's so true. That's how you learn. That's how you perfect. And even when you were talking about practicing and practicing and practicing, like every time you do it, you get better, right? It doesn't have to be perfect by any means whatsoever.
We don't want perfect.
No.
I mean, even for people who have been on stage for years and years, I know something is going to go wrong. And we call that in Turkish, we call that nazar, the evil eye we have. We
Yes.
call it nazar. So when nazar is like somebody either loves you so much that like admires, oh my God, look at the set, look at the costumes, look at her, she's amazing. And something happens and you're like, oh, or it could be the other way around. Oh my God, she's just nasty. She's this. I hope she doesn't succeed. I hope she doesn't get this. That's nazar as well. So you always have to be prepared. That's again, looping back to control and confidence. You
Mm.
have to be flexible to be able to work the stage, work the situation, what's happening now. And so this going back, seriously, this is not a nice to have. This is a leadership strategy, and not only for business, but for beyond, for your life as well, for your family relationships, for your girlfriend relationships, for your love relationships, what have you. It's how you show up in the world. And the charisma, the celebrity charisma code actually brings you, it's an inside out job. So it takes you in and you have to figure out how you connect, what your language is, what your body language is, what your nonverbal is. And one thing I want to say this too, Vicki, I'm sure you'll agree with this. I tell my people to never crowdsource their feedback. When they get off the stage, don't turn to your friend or your colleague. So how was it? They're probably going to say, "Oh, it was great. It was lovely. Yeah, I like the slides." That means nothing to you. You do not want somebody to tell you that's great. Ask them what was great. But don't even ask those people, because how do you know they're doing it right? That's why you have to ask the right person. And I've been getting this so much. I said, all right, we have to start from somewhere, because sometimes people get really overwhelmed. Well, it's 5 banks on the master key. I don't know where to start. Then let's start with your charisma audit. You need to, if you don't know what's holding you back, you can't change it. You can't change what you're not aware of, what you cannot see. So you have to start from there and then see, ooh, this is where how my presence is landing, not how I think it was landing.
Yes. Love that. That's so important. And that's a skill in itself, that self-awareness of recognizing, so that you can self-regulate and you can figure out, like, where do you need to spend the majority of your attention, your focus. Like, I don't know, often you said this a minute ago, but you ask people who've never had the experience themselves. So how can they truthfully tell you how to improve or how you actually did?
Exactly, because they're going to tell you what they know or what they think they should tell you, but they don't know your body. So I always say, I don't coach people, I direct their presence into existence, because you have to see through people. When I also work with the immigrant story, bringing their stories to life on big stages, one story at a time. So I always tell them and my clients, so let me see what you do. It's like, what can you tell me? I can't tell you. I have to see you do it first so I can tell you, right?
Yes. Yes. And what you said earlier too, Demet, was that what you feel. What do you feel when that person starts speaking? Are you connecting, or is it like you're hearing blah 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 blah?
Oh, Vicki, okay, I'm gonna link it to influence, inspiring, and just giving information, because this is so important. There's a huge difference between giving information, blah, 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 graphs, measurements, and everything. This is what we're going to do, then actually moving people into action. I mean, that's the corporate world, right? It's like,
100%.
you're great, let's do this, let's do this. And the employees go, come on, give me a break. I mean, I don't buy it. Here's the thing, if they don't buy you, they will not buy from you. So you have to make sure, you have to first connect with your people, know your people, connect with your people. You have to be authentic. And if you're not authentic, they're not going to follow you. And inspiring people, they make you feel something. Research shows that humans want to be heard, seen, and understood. Well, I'm putting another layer to it. They want to be felt. They want to feel and they want to be felt. And only when they feel, they start to move. They start to put things into action. Like if you look at history, all the things that women had to go through and what they had to do is enough is enough. Let's walk out. Let's do this. Let's revolt, whatever it was. It didn't start because the chart was great. The graphs were wonderful. It started because they felt something. It's like, all right, yes, enough is enough. I'll give you one example. You probably know this. You know the song. I'll just recite. I'm giving information. Let's say, ladies, we are at a conference. I'm reciting information. First, I was afraid. I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. Right? And you'd go, yeah, yeah, yeah. But what happens if I do? First, I was afraid. I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. Right?
I want to sing along with you.
Your body wants to sing along. So you're back from outer space, not just because you're singing, but what happens is your brain takes you back to those memories.
Yes.
Where maybe you got drunk with your girlfriends, you were singing out your lungs out. You're back. Go right after I will survive. Right? So again, it's connecting you to your memories. And once I do that, boom, I get you. You say, she's my person. You're my people. That's the connection. You don't have to sing. You could be, all right, let me take you to that conference space again. Imagine, Vicki, we are at this huge conference auditorium, 2,000 women conference. And you go, at first, I was afraid. I was petrified, kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I've spent so many nights thinking how you've done me wrong and I grew strong. And when you do that, can you imagine how the audience is going to react? They're going to, yeah, it's the pacing, it's the pause, it's the tonality, it's the voice, it's the body language, it's the facial expressions you use that you become this goddess of inspiration that people want to follow you. What happens is that higher vibration and your presence, your charisma, your magnetic charisma just emulates. It becomes a field and everyone's attracted to that.
Well, that's that relatability, right? It's it's the attraction that you talked about, that magnet of attracting and pulling you towards something. And, we tend to do work with people we know, like, and trust. And that builds that trust into the whole mechanism of who you are at your
Absolutely.
essence.
Research also shows that charismatic people get promoted faster, they get paid more, and people want to be around them. And so people pass them projects more. So it's not just, again, it's a nice to have, darling, but I don't have it. I wasn't born with it. No, you're born with it. You just need to
Cultivate
activate
it.
it. Yes, and there's a way to do it. There's a structure to the madness, and you have to activate your charisma. That's your competitive edge.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Demet, we could have like 2 days worth of conversations here,
I
probably more, actually.
I know. I know.
Love, love, love your energy. And, just to wrap us up here, we have a beautiful audience sitting here listening from 90 countries around the world. What's one thing you would want them to take away from this conversation today to act on?
The one thing, I actually looked back on this and I said, all right, so what was I doing that was very meaningful and powerful for me and for people? And I realized, well, I've been captivating for years and this and that. Yeah. But then I realized it's bigger than me. Once I started working with people, I realized it's bigger than me because I get to show them how they can captivate. And one thing I will absolutely say is activate your charisma, stay authentic. And because I've seen what it does to people, they finally transformed and they could ask for that promotion. They could own the room they finally belong to. And I've seen all that happen. And Please don't say, well, I'm just one person. No one's going to listen to me. Presence is so important. You don't know how many people you influence with your presence. Again, going back to what I was doing, I said it's bigger than me because I was one person. I'm at one global event. Yes, I influence those people. Great. But when I teach others to do it, can you imagine how it's growth? One story at a time, one person at a time, one situation at a time. But it will only happen if you use your master key, your courage to stand out, to be brave enough, to have the confidence enough to say, you know what, I'm going to show up with my all, and not with the little side I think I have, because you are huge and the world needs you, especially female leaders. So
Today,
please,
especially.
yes, exactly. So please, instead of maybe investing in many other certifications and trainings on competence, invest in your presence.
Love that. Wow. Beautiful. And thank you. Thank you for reminding us that leadership it is not just what we know. It's how we make people feel. It's what we leave people with, that impact that you're having. And I want to add to what you just said there, which I think is so important. When I started this podcast, Women in Leadership Talk, my whole vision was, it was during COVID, and one of my community members said, Vicki, you always bring great women in to talk with us. Like, how are you going to keep this going during COVID? And I was like, that's easy. So I started the podcast. And my whole thing, to what you're just saying, every episode I say, if we touch one person, then we've done our job, right?
Exactly.
So just to what you said, even if it's one person, you've done what you're supposed to do.
Let me give one little closure that I see a lot is that people are so much in their heads.
Yes.
Do I look nice? How do I sound? Are they going to like me? Stop doing that. Worry about the audience, giving value to the audience. And once you do that, it is going to come back to you anyway. You are making an impact. And don't worry about, I have to make an impact for the 2,000 people. Like you said, no, it's that one person, because you don't know who that one person is, what that one person can do.
Love it. Love it.
You got this.
Wow. So, how can our listeners find you? They have questions, they want to better understand, how do I tap into my own charisma? How do I find Demet? Where's she at?
The two things, I'm on LinkedIn, I have a website, and how they start is I have the charisma audit. It's a 90-minute charisma audit. You bring in your video, your keynotes. Again, I have to see what you do, and you start from what you have, what's working, what's not working. And that's been very useful especially for my female executives. And once you do that, then you have your roadmap, diagnosis and roadmap, which is so important, saves you years of guesswork. Find me on, again, I don't want to say this, I'm on Google, darling.
Say it loud and proud.
Yeah, but it's my first name, Demet, Demet, Tuncer. I have my website, LinkedIn, message me.
YouTube.
I'm on YouTube, Instagram. So I'm all over the place.
Love
I
it.
am findable. I am very approachable. Ask me questions. I'm here for you.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So, you've heard that straight from the mouth of the queen here, the charisma queen. Ask her any questions you have about, how do you build that charisma? How do you grow those skills in your presence? And Demet, thank you so much. This is such a pleasure to have you on the show. I love, love, love your energy. I'm definitely one of those that I'm attracted to the energy that you exude. So thank you for that. You've made my afternoon wonderful.
Thank you, Vicki, for having me and for actually bringing Celebrity Charisma Code and me to your audience, to your community. And I hope I gave value.
No hoping. You did. Absolutely. So thank you for that. And I want to thank our guests our audience for joining us. We really appreciate that you continue to listen into the Will Talk podcast. I'm getting all tongue tied today. See, I can just flow with that. Be sure to visit us at Women in Leadership Empowered if you are ready to explore leadership resources, conversations, community, ways to help you continue to build your skills and your network around you. And do like and share this video. This really resonates with the things that we need to do as women leaders to support each other, but also to build your capabilities even stronger. So focus on that charisma this year, and let us know. Let us know how you're doing with building your charisma. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you on the next Women in Leadership Talk podcast.
Thank you for joining us for Will Talk, sponsored by Women in Leadership Empowered. To learn more about our programs, please visit www.willempowered.com. We look forward to seeing you in our community.